Well, welcome back. Um, I'm Mark. I'm the author of the MB Fleet Series game, and I wanted to do a short video, one that I think anybody who is trying to get a hang of the game would appreciate. This will be a quick start to a scenario with some key things to understand when you start a scenario. Um, Fleet Series is a very complex game. Those who've played it for a long time, it's very simple to them. But for folks that have not, which is a lot of the folks that play this game, this is going to be a video that is for y'all. So I'll try not to make any assumptions about things you might know. I'll make a couple assumptions. Just I'm assuming that you've downloaded the game. If you have not downloaded the game, then I would ask you to, from my YouTube channel, there should be a install or basically a starter's guide that it's probably one of the earlier videos that I've created. It's the one with the most views. You should try that. Things have gotten even simpler than that, but if you can follow that particular video, then you'll you'll be fine. So when you start the game, it's going to give you this screen here. And this screen will give you ability. This is where you'll start pretty much all of your games. Now, the very first time that you join the game, you're not going to see much because you've never had a game here. Okay. So if you were to have games, you could continue an existing game here. There would be games listed down here you can click on. When you click on them, you'll see a explanation of the scenario that's being played, and you can load it. If you're playing multiplayer, we won't get into that now, but this is where you would join a particular multiplayer game. Your opponent would send you a code. Basically, it's the descriptive term for the session that you're playing, and you would, once you click this button, a little pop-up will happen. You'll put that value in, you'll hit go, and it'll show the information here, and then you'll start the game. Once you've started the game through multiplayer, you'll never have to do this to get into that game again. It'll now start showing up in your existing games. Okay. Now, if you have neither of those and you just want to start the game, then this is really what this video is for. Then you'll choose the start a new game. Okay. So what type of game? It says select the game type and then click start. I've since updated this list to be a little more understandable. It was using the codes that I for the different game types, but now I've kind of put like regular descriptions of these. So essentially, you got your second fleet, North Atlantic. You have seventh fleet, Pacific, and that's specified Cold War. So the countries and the forces involved would be circa 1990. Sixth Fleet, Mediterranean. We have a South Atlantic map. We have a Caribbean map, and then we also have a world map. World map is the first version that I sent out, and but it's even more overwhelming than any one of these single maps. These single maps are all just the map with some, maybe some air bases on the side where units can be based off map. So we're gonna do one of these single map ones. Okay, they're also the ones that I've been building most recently. So we'll pick Second Fleet, North Atlantic, and we'll start this game type. Now, before I do that, notice that anytime you start the game where you know that there's a new version, you can click this button and it'll give you the ability to download the new version. It'll close this thing down and it'll give you the ability to then click on the installer again and reinstall it over it. There's also now we can pick up the game manual. So if I click the game manual, I get a Explorer, and I'm going to click on this real quick. This is a very cool manual that has been produced by a lot of it's from the content that I provide in game, but it's compiled and it's put together by one of my players, Craig Nichols, who's been doing a fantastic job. Really good information. I would definitely keep this manual up, especially if you're new to the game. A lot of the information in here is also in the game, but this puts it into a really nice way. that's definitely built. And what I'm showing this video on is also going to be basically in here. All the steps that I show in my video, including everything before the video, which is like installing the game, is all through here. So download and installation, it gives you all the things that you'll need to do to download. So it's really, really freaking cool. And I thank him very much on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the game. So I want to start this game type. Now you get to this big screen here. This is the actual screen where you're actually going to do all of your stuff in the game. There is it's the very first time that you are playing the game, and this information is also in that user guide, but you can click this "How do I use this app" button, and it'll take you on a tour. It's pretty simplistic. It's just a bunch of pop-ups that highlight different areas of the tool and tell you what each of the buttons mean. Okay? I'm going to skip that. So if you're the goal of this video is to show you how to start an actual mission. Okay, so now empty sandbox, I wouldn't use that. That has no units on it. You'll be building it yourself. This is for mission creators, and since that's not the audience of this, I'll actually be doing a video for mission creators next. But for mission players, just go here to start a pre-built mission. Now you have all the different missions that came with the game that I've put into this game, and I basically put in almost all of them. I think I'm missing. Yeah, there was one about SSBNs, ballistic missile subs. That I don't have the ballistic missile subs in the game, so there wasn't any reason to put that mission in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick one that's somewhat of medium complexity, because I think it gives you more things to look at. All right, so we're going to pick Battle of the Gap. You click Battle of the Gap, it now brings up the actual scenario. It gives you a description of the scenario. It gives you what you get victory points for, what are the victory levels. It tells a bunch of different things. A summary of what the situation is, and the missions that are provided. So what we're going to do is I think we'll start this game twice. Once as allies and once as Soviets, so you can kind of get an idea of the different things you might be able to see. All right, so here we go. So what we're going to do is you determine number of players. This game will support 0 players through 2 players. 0 players is basically you're just watching AI versus AI. You can also play against the AI, or play solitaire, where you're playing both sides, or you have 2 different humans. If you have 2 different humans, then you'll pick two multiplayer, and it'll allow you to send files back and forth. It'll actually go up to the cloud, put a file out there, and then you'll be playing another player by like pulling down that version from the cloud, updating it, sending back up. It's like a I go, you go kind of thing. All right, but we're gonna play solitaire. No, we're gonna play human versus AI. And I'm going to start by, I'll play the allies. And starting options, I would say begin scenario is what you'll always want to pick. Edit and designer is if you are a mission designer and you want to take one of these standard templates and edit it for yourself. But we're going to go ahead and just do simple things. Begin scenario. All right, first thing you're going to see is you're going to be in your deployment phase. Whenever you start a new phase, or you go to a phase that you've never been to, you'll get this pop-up. This pop-up is your help dialog. It gives you a lot of information. It gives you the ability to get to the game manual. It gives you ability to, if you want the scenario rules, they're listed here. If you want to see those, you can click scenario specific rules file. This is a modal window, so you'll have to close it down in order to play. But if you click scenario specific rules file, it'll pop up a notepad with this information in it, so you can have it as you're going through. Okay. There's also some information on unit indicators. There's also some information on search and detection. I've been adding new stuff in here of ways of explaining different parts of the game. A lot of this stuff is also in the manual. Okay. All right, so there's really nothing we want to do here other than maybe what I would recommend is you would go through this phase info, you would read this and understand what it's asking you to do. but primarily deployment is two things. One is you're ready to start this game. Okay. Um, so what you want to do is you want to either accept the placement of your units, or you want to change them. Now, certain ones you can change, certain ones you can't. Ones that you can change, you'll see this thing saying random deployment for this surface stack. You'll also see little dots around. What this basically means is that this particular group, which is, if you notice, it's a bunch of ships in here that basically they are the Standing Naval Force Atlantic. There's also some submarines here as well, and all of them looks like they have the ability to be deployed pretty much anywhere on the southern part of the map. Okay, so what you could do is what would I do? Well, what I do is I probably don't want them to start there. I either want to place them somewhere, or I want to let the computer randomly place them there. If you want the computer to randomly place them somewhere, you can hit this random deployment for this surface stack. It'll move these guys around. Okay, just move them there, just move them there, just move them there. You could pick wherever you want. I recommend in the help that you do these movements first. You decide where you want to move this guy before you group anything. Once you group them, then you can't move them anymore. Okay? The instructions for the deployment for each ship is built against that particular ship. So if you were to combine a bunch of ships into a single task force, they may have different deployments. So you want to do the moves first before you group. And you don't even have to group. You'll get another opportunity to group ships before the action starts. Okay? So, I just moved this group up here. I'm happy with where they are. So I'm going to go ahead and say group with all ungrouped, and it groups them. Notice now I can't do anything. I can't drag them around. I don't even see options for them. Okay? It created them into a task force. All right, let's go next. Okay, it shows you some of the ships in here. All right, now you have an illustrious group. Very similar concept. They could be placed anywhere within these hexes. So what I'm going to do is I am going to save my own. Let's see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see. I think I want them to start like here. So I'm going to grab all the ships here that are in this stack. Now I'm going to move them up here, and then I'm going to join them. There you go. Okay. All right. All right. Next, you also notice these. I'm sure you're noticing these question marks. Okay. Notice. So now you see as I'm scrolling through, I get down to the Trafalgar. The Trafalgar is right here. Trafalgar does have a random deployment. It looks like it can be deployed anywhere within these two areas. Now, submarines never get grouped with other things together, so you don't have to worry about that. They're just all individual lone wolves. So I'm gonna move them. I'm gonna move one right here. I'm gonna take the Olympia. That sub can go another way. I'll put him up here. I think the whale has a larger area. It can go all over the place. So I'm gonna put it. I'll just run it random. There you go. Conqueror random. And finally the talent random, just because I like randomness. Okay, so put it up there. I think that's about it, but you can tell by clicking down through. No, see, they don't have any, there's no variability in what they're doing. Neither there. The Reuben James, this group, which is three different groups, can be placed anywhere. And I'm just going to do a random deployment. I kind of sort of want them nearby. I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and, since I can put them in this convoy, I'm going to put them with these guys. So I'm going to put them in this area here. Now they're there. I'm going to group them with all ungrouped, and now we have a single task force with all of our ships. Okay, what else? The Bagley, they can be anywhere in here. I think it makes sense for me to put them with the convoys. So I'm going to put them all with the convoys. You really want, oh, it's got the Roosevelt here too, and the Virginia. Okay, so I'm going to group them. There you go. By double clicking, I'm collapsing all that. I don't need to see all the things underneath. All right, I think, let's see here. Minerva, okay, these guys start here. Looks like they don't have any ability to change. You'll know if you can change it up by just scrolling through here. If you don't see any type of information here, then you know that there's no ability. And if you don't see any dots around, any black markers, you'll know you don't have to start. You don't have to choose. So once you're done, once you're done with doing anything, this green button is very important. It's so important I put it in two places. I put it here, which is right next to this way of scrolling through all your ships. I also put it right here. All it means is that I'm done with that turn or done with that phase. Okay? So now, before we go, what do we mean about, what are these things here? So if I click on this, you'll see it shows enemy sub 4. Many units have flexible starting locations, so this is merely context, not actual intel. Okay, so notice I moved my stuff around. Some stuff could move around, some stuff couldn't move around. Your opponent has the same thing. So you don't know whether or not these are things that they could move around or things that are going to start there. So it's just context for knowing that, hey, you got a bunch of enemies up here. I have some air up here at these air bases. I have some surface, but plus 2 air here. That sounds to me like a carrier. I have surface 8 here and air 2. That means sounds to me like another carrier. I have 4 subs here. These are likely ones that probably can move around because most times subs don't start at specific spots. Most times subs can start in many spots. So likely this enemy sub here, number 2, is not going to be there when you actually start the game. Okay, but it gives you context on that. All right. So that's about it. So I'm done with that. I'm going to hit next. All right. Anytime you're going through anything, you'll periodically get little messages here. So all it's saying is that turn 1 a.m. Weather's been rolled. It rolled a 5. There's nothing with a squall or storm, so you're good. All right, you get to deep mode. All right, this optional phase is your opportunity to set eligible submarines into or out of deep mode. You hit OK. All right, so now again, what do you always do? You can scroll through here to see what things you can actually act on. Notice that it doesn't highlight any surface units, doesn't highlight any aircraft. It just highlights the subs because all these subs could go into deep mode. You choose whether or not you want to be deep mode or not by clicking deep mode. When you're done with this phase, you'll click the green button. And essentially, that's how you start the scenario. What's going to happen if you look at this, which is this sequence of play, you'll notice that right now we're in the sub deep mode, which is in the beginning of the action cycle. And the action cycle is basically a big loop that does a bunch of, this is all the movements and such that that you do. Now, I think I'll skip. I'm gonna skip some things just to get to the point where I give orders, and I'll stop at giving orders. All right. So we're not going to do anything here. I'm not going to put anybody in deep mode. I'm fine as it is. Allocate cap. Okay. Is there any cap that needs to be allocated? Okay, if I scroll through this, I'll notice I can put the Sea King on cap. I could put this Sea King on cap. I could put Harriers, right? So I could put this Tornado. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put the E2C on cap. I mean, it's turn 1 and I'm way over here. The Russians probably have range to get stuff up here, so I will probably put, I'm a pretty conservative player, so I'll probably assign the E2C to cap. I'll probably put this EA6B also on cap because you get, it helps you during battle if you have electronic warfare aircraft on cap. F-14, I'm going to launch one F-14 on cap. Now I can skip, I don't have to click this, I can just skip this plane and move on to something else. Do I want the F-15 on cap? Yes, I do. Do I want the F-18 on the Roosevelt? No, I don't. Neither that one. Do I want this F-16? Yes, I do. Do I want the Sea King? Yes, I do. Do I want that Sea King? Yes, I do. I'm going to put both the Harriers on too. And I'm going to put the Tornado on cap as well. All right, now I'm back to the F-14, so I think I've pretty much gone through all the things that I can put on cap. So what am I going to do? I'm going to hit the green button to go. Pre-action phase group. So you have one last opportunity to put things into task forces. I would definitely read these things. It tells you why you want to go into a task force, why you might not want to go into a task force. Pretty much, you always want to try to go in as big a group as possible. You'll get better protection. There is a max amount of 12 combat ships in a single group, and it won't allow you to go any larger than 12 combat ships in a group. All right. I'm also going to turn off that these pop-ups keep happening. So I'm going to go here to my options, and there's a selection called Auto Show Help First Time, which is what that is. I'm going to turn it off. And the little pop-up tells me help message will only pop up when hitting the button in the top menu. Okay, so in other words, it's not going to start popping up help all the time. I'm going to have to actually do it manually by clicking help. All right, so I think we already have some groups created. I think there's some areas that are not in groups. Notice these guys are not in groups, so I'm going to group it all in groups. This is dangerous, these three guys being all alone like that, but hey, I only have so many escorts. I could have taken the Standing Naval Force Atlantic, and I could have moved them here. But I didn't. So hopefully I'll be okay. This Invincible looks like it's not part of a group. How do I know it's part of a group or not? I noticed that if I see the symbol with these symbols around it, things in the corners, I know that it's some type of grouping. Depending on exactly which values are filled out, like if it's 4 solid, it's a task force. If it's 2 solid, it's a task group. And if it's no solids, then it is basically like an action group, essentially. Okay, an activation group, which is basically just, it doesn't really qualify as a task group at all. All right, so I'm going to create a group with these guys, and I think that's it. All right, we're done. All right, so I'm going to hit next, or I'm going to hit next. I can hit it here, I can hit it here. High speed. Do I want any ships on high speed? They give you the ability to burn some extra fuel for high speed. I'm going to say I'm going to skip that just for purposes of this video. Activate stack. I've made things easy for you. What I would do normally is most people always just activate all ships and subs. They may activate aircraft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate all ships and subs. When I activate subs, it says, hey, certain subs these can move at full speed. This is very similar to high speed, except for subs, if they're in full speed, they're much easier to detect. So I'm not going to send any of them into full speed. I'm going to just hit next. All right, now I go back to activate stack because there's still some stuff left that needs to be activated, like aircraft on carriers, aircraft here. I'm not going to launch any aircraft yet. I don't have any reason to. I have a P3 over here. I think, yeah, if you look, I have a P3 that I could launch. I'm going to go ahead and wait and launch that if I start sighting something. Okay, because I really have no idea where the enemy is. So I'm just going to hit skip, and we're just going to move on. All right, Russians are doing their side. All right, now we get to orders phase. I make it very easy on you. If your ships have things around them, then it means they need to move. If the yellow basically means they have no orders, this additional alert tells you and makes your eye go to there. So essentially, all of these units have to be given movement orders in order for you to actually start the action. So how do you do that? Well, there's different things you can do, and I'm probably not going to go into that right now. But essentially, what I normally do is I'm just going to drag them in the direction that they're going to go. When I do that, it pops them back to their starting location, but it puts the destination marker here. So now you know that they're going that way. They will now soon go this way once the orders cycle starts running. Basically, every round, ships will move 1 hex, and every round is worth 10 cycles. Why is it 10? What's happening during the other 9? Well, aircraft are moving. So aircraft move every cycle, ships move every round. That's pretty much it. They technically move on the 5th cycle of every round, ships. So I won't be able to continue this thing. If I click this, if I click next, it won't let me go because it'll say, nope, it says you got no orders. All right, so then highlights the next guy. So I have to give everybody orders. I'm just going to do that just to show you what you need to do. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video right now. I think this gets you into the game. I definitely think you'll need to learn more if you don't know anything about the game, but it's pretty easy to get to the point where you are um, ready to go. So um, if this is helpful, let me know, and I'll probably try to do some other videos like that. I'm planning on posting this in the Discord server. I definitely recommend folks going out to my. In fact, I'll go out to. I'm going to go to my YouTube channel. And notice if you go here you notice there's some links here. It says and one more link. If I click on that, it shows that I have two links on my actual YouTube channel. One is the actual game download, which gets you the file in the first place. And there's also a link to our Discord. So I would utilize this and join our Discord and ask questions and join the community. I hope you found this video uh, informational, and I hope that it allows you to get into scenarios pretty quickly. Really appreciate all folks who've been playing the game. I really do appreciate that, and I hope to improve the game even more through people's feedback. So thanks a lot, everybody. I'll talk to you in the next video.